Vikings talk. It's Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com. Purple Daily, presented by Surly Brewing Company.
But I appreciate you, man. Anything else you want to talk about or you want the world to know before we get off?
I prefer showing the world than telling them.
Yeah.
I don't want to be about the lip service. I just want to show them.
Yeah. Well, then do that. Do that. Because they're going to be all ears, all eyes. Y'all got a bunch of primetime games. A-Rod, I'll give you this fair warning. You're about to be in this division and deal with him twice a year, so you're going to learn it yourself. He can get the ball anywhere, at any time, from any arm angle. Understand that.
Look at that. Lewis Cine making an appearance on Dick Sherman's podcast there. Richard Sherman.
Why?
What's the... I've always kind of wondered.
Of you,
I'm sure there's there's probably some
like
Richards who listen to the show.
Yep.
Who decides that your nickname is going to be Dick?
It's a legit
I've
question.
Like,
I've never
why
really
is it not
understood
Richard?
that.
Why is it not Richard Bramer, Twins play-by-play guy,
Right.
or Rich Bramer, or Rick Bramer? There's like
When
Richie. There's like 7 options.
Gee.
my favorite thing on Twins telecast was during Tom Kelly's brief time in the booth where he would call him Richard.
Yeah.
And you could hear Dick's teeth just grind.
Because he can't say anything. It's Tom Kelly.
Exactly.
Tom Kelly is disrespecting.
But he would just call him
you.
Richard. It was just great.
Well, Richard. Oh, man. Speaking of Richards, we are Mackey, Judd, and Declan. We are the trio that makes up this daily Vikings entertainment called Purple Daily. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. The show is presented by our friends at TCL and also Surly Brewing Company. On TCL, they're one of the world's best-selling consumer electronics brands. They have a new lineup of award-winning TVs delivering the most entertainment with stunning resolution, all at an affordable cost. Enjoy more of the things you love with TCL. All right, in 2 days, and we've already got the schedule trickling out here. I saw there was a Christmas game announced between the Rams and the Broncos on CBS. The Masters on CBS.
CBS, oh, friends.
We know who the Vikings play in week 2. We know who the Vikings play in week 4. The full schedule comes out in 2 days from now. But as promised, you're not going to have to wait until Thursday. Because Judd Zulgad has created his own schedule. That's right. We are mocking the schedule. Judd Zulgad, this is, I think, the 3rd year that you've done this, maybe 4th?
It's at least the 3rd.
The
And
annual
I take it very seriously.
mock schedule.
The last
Yes. What are you doing there, Dex? Is that a...
It was my I'm pulling the Zolgat actually and getting actual pen and paper because I my last one here, my chicken scratch. I had a 10-7 record, so I just want the
Never
note.
apologize, Declan. Never
Are we
apologize.
picking the schedule here, too?
Why don't you guys pick it? Why don't you guys pick it as I do it?
Okay.
So, like,
Okay.
I'm not going to participate in the picking because
No,
I am going to. And to be clear, I doubled and triple checked this thing. I made a lot of changes. I took, I think, the better part of an hour, if not an entire. So, like, this is a lot of work. Like
An hour?
This was not. It was an hour of my life. It's gone now. I'm 52.
Well, you make it
Hour of
sound
my
like,
life.
oh, I've been working on this for...
As I told Dex, when I turned 50, when you're 20, you're like, I'm going to get to 30. When you're 30, it's like, I'm almost certainly going to get to 40. When you're 40, like, okay, 50's next. When you get to 50, tick, tick, tick. The clock is ticking. You don't know.
So, all right. So, Judd, who's potentially on the verge of death.
You just don't know.
Spent close to an hour workshopping this mock schedule.
Yes.
All right, Dex, I'm going to keep track of my own wins and losses. You keep track of your own wins and losses.
You got it.
Here we go. Okay.
I have dates. I have primetime games. I
God.
I mean,
Dude,
again.
this is great. I love this.
I have 9 home games, which is correct. I have 8 away games. It's really 7 and 1 neutral site game. So let's start with week 1, which is September 11th this season. The Vikings will be playing host to the New York Giants.
Okay, there's some steam here. I've seen some
I've
little
seen this
Reddit
as well.
posts and stuff.
Yep. And so I'm going with the steam. It's steam. It is nothing that I've heard officially.
Smart though. It's something. You might as well,
But they're opening at home. They're not going to, because you're not going to send them to Philadelphia in week 2.
Yeah.
And then London in week 4. You're going to get them home games. So September 11th, Sunday, just probably a noon game. It's all cool.
Sure.
It's all good.
Yeah.
The New York
It's a win, by
Giants.
the way. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a
it's a
1-0 start for the Minnesota Vikings.
Okay.
Let's get it. Sorry,
That's a
Daniel Jones.
Danny Dimes.
Good luck. Good
Danny
luck.
Dimes.
Good luck against Ed Donatel's 3-4 amoeba hybrid shape-shifting defense with 3 safeties, 2 safeties. You have no idea how many safeties might be out there. You don't know if Daniil Hunter and Zadarius Smith are going to have their hand in the grass or not. You don't know. How are you supposed to prepare for that? You're not. That's the thing. 1-0 Vikings.
Danny Dimes.
All right. Week 2. Well, we know week 2. That's boring. September 19th, Monday night, as announced yesterday at Philadelphia. So that's a known game.
Yeah, that's a tough one too, man.
Yeah, dude.
It's kind of
I'm
a
gonna go
house
with
of
a loss.
horrors. You're lost.
I'm going with a loss. I like Jalen Hurts. I do like Jalen Hurts.
Do you?
Yes.
I can't
I do like
decide.
Jalen Hurts.
I'm going to say that's a loss too. It's Kirk.
Yeah.
It's Kirk. It's prime time. It's a tough place to
Right.
play. It's a lot. It's a lot. All right, 1-0.
All right. So to do this, I also went back to the 2021 schedule, and I looked at how it was sort of shaped as far as opponents from conferences went, and I came away with my week 3 game, September 25th, another Sunday game at US Bank Stadium. Last year, I believe week 3 was the Cleveland Browns. So going by the strategy that the league seems to employ now, week 3, September 25th of this year, Indianapolis Colts visit Minneapolis.
So no division opponents in the first month of the season.
And that's pretty much how it went last year, too. They backed up the division opponents a lot because they want, essentially, in a nutshell, the Packers and Bears games late as possible. Because that creates more, like people are excited
They want drama.
for football right now, but they want the drama, which I think is actually pretty smart. So I'm going with AFC opponent, the Colts in week 3.
God damn,
That's
the
a win.
Colts are good, man.
That's a win. That's a win.
I would say. I mean, I think it might be the first month of the season might be tough because Matt Ryan is learning a new system, new teammates, right? I think Indy's going to be good, and I think they're a playoff team long term. This is a tough one. I'm going to say it's a win, though. It's a win for the Vikings.
Okay.
Narrow. It's a narrow victory.
Yep.
All right. Quarter of the season will be done in week 4 when another known game, October 2nd, a Sunday, at Saints in London, NFL Network game.
Yep. That's a win for the Vikings.
I think so too. It's a win. I'm hot. 3-1.
3-1
All
for
right.
both of us here. Let's
3-1.
do it. Let's get it. Kevin O'Connell, baby.
And now it's time for Kirktober. So what happens in week 5, Judd Zolg? Well, I guess bye week, but
Exactly. Yeah, you know what? You say that, Declan, and I did too. Bye week. Oh, bye week. There's intrigue. There's intrigue, boys. I bring you this. The New York Giants supposedly have told the league, I believe they're playing in London against the Packers in week 5. They supposedly have told the league, we don't want the bye in week 6. Too early for us. So evidently teams are trying to pass up the London bye based on the fact that they'd prefer to get the rest on the back end. Now, I'm going to give the Vikings the bye because that's traditionally how this works. But the point is, the bye might be a guess as well.
Okay.
So I'm saying week 5 bye week, but it makes sense to say, that trip is tough, but we'd prefer the bye in late October or November. So I'm saying bye week, but it doesn't sound like it's necessarily a slam dunk that's going to be the bye week.
Okay, well, so what's the 5th game? Because my decision on this game might be altered based on whether they're resting or not after London. But go ahead.
Okay, going with the strategy from last year, week 6, October 16th, Sunday game at home, of course, against Detroit.
Yeah, that's
how it
win.
played out last year as well.
Okay,
that's a very nice start to the season.
And it makes some sense. And it's going to make more sense when you see how I've altered the Detroit games as we go through this.
Okay, very favorable schedule here so far. Okay.
The schedule is week 7, another Sunday game, October 23rd at Buffalo.
No, that's a loss. There it is. There's the loss.
Yep, that's going to be a tough one.
That's a loss.
That's a loss. Yep.
Lewis Cine write this down, knock Stefan Diggs out of this game.
That's mean.
Are you
He's going
Okay,
on the
so
record?
You're
or
going
waiting
on the
for
record
tomorrow?
here?
I'm
Is
going
this-
on the record. He's going to knock him out. He's going to knock him out of the game. He's
Okay,
going
so
to
Lewis
end
Cine
his
is going
day.
to injure Stefan Diggs. That's your
On a hit.
prediction.
Okay.
On a hit. He is.
Well,
He is.
injure.
Lewis Cine
Oh, God.
is
Very
here
weird.
for business purposes. No, it's not. This
He's
kid's gonna hit.
here to chew bubblegum
He
and
might get a flag.
decapitate wide receivers
Yes.
over the middle.
Yes,
basically.
this guy is going to hurt
All right.
people.
Okay.
Okay, you got that written down there? Okay.
All right, week 8.
All right, let's keep going here.
Week 8. This is not great. This is not great. But remember, this league driven by television and its partners. Week 8, October 27th, 4 days after the Buffalo game,
Oh boy.
versus Dallas on Thursday night.
Oh, I hate
That's-
this. It's a home game against Dallas, though.
Home game against Dallas.
Ugh.
Last year on a Sunday night, if I'm not mistaken. Dallas gets primetime games.
Classic
Thursday
Buffalo.
nighter.
Is
That's
Dallas
pretty
playing at
attractive.
home or on the road the week before?
I do.
Did you do all the schedules
Dude,
or
I
just
did
the
not.
Vikings?
I'm working on the Cowboys right now. I'm workshopping their
Okay.
bleeping schedule right
If-
now.
it's
What do you
Cooper
expect
Rush
from
in
me?
this game.
If the Cowboys played a road game the week before, it's for sure a win. I'm going to say it's a win either way because both teams have to play on this short schedule.
And beat the Cowboys.
Yeah.
You're right.
I'm going with the
Beat 'em.
loss.
Cowboys
Going
are
with the loss.
worse now than they were a year ago, and Mike McCarthy is for sure getting fired.
I don't
Cowboys,
think he's going
I
undefeated
think
at
could be a
home.
dumpster fire this year.
All right.
Okay. Kellen Moore will be
Week-
coaching them by then. That's okay.
Week 9, November 6th, home game again against the New England Patriots.
Oh, man. So we're home, a lot of home games here. So you're saying 5 home games in the first 9. There's going to be a sneaky game in here. This feels like one where maybe Bill Belichick might pull one over on the young coach. I think this might be a Bill Belichick masterpiece. I'm going to say it's a loss for the Vikings.
And don't forget, though, there are 9 home games. So there's not 8, there's 9. So we've got a back end one that is going to be actually favorable. So I believe I am now through 8 games. Can I get the records, please?
5-3. Dex, did you pick this game?
No, I did not yet. It's a win for the Vikings for me, so I have them at 5-3 as well.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Week 10, we progress. Now we're going to start to get more division games. Sunday nighter at Lambeau Field.
Sorry, boys. It's another tough one there. That's a loss for the Vikings.
Yeah, it's a loss.
They're
I
not
really
running.
lost
They're not
them.
running the table in the
No,
division.
they're not running
so.
it.
I
Man,
agree with that. That's fair. That's a
the
tough
wheels on
game.
the bus are coming off here in my schedule.
Okay.
Week 11, November 20th, at home against the New York Jets.
Oh, that's
Joe
good.
Yeah,
Namath,
that's
John
a
Maynard coming
perfect
down.
noon get well game. Just a classic get right game right there.
Oh, that'd be great. All right, looking forward to it.
Now, here's where I get funky with the division Lions game. 4 days later, in week 12, they are playing on Thanksgiving at Detroit.
Wow.
Oh,
2 Thursday games. 2 Thursday
Well,
games.
but 2 Thursday games, but different. One's a primetime game, and this is the traditional early game. So, yes, it's 2 Thursday games in a national spotlight, but Dallas is an attractive primetime game, and Detroit, we're trying to find teams. A division game, just a thought.
Fans are going to kill me for this, but I think Dan Campbell's got that team fighting. I think the Vikings lose. Short week it is for Detroit, too. I think they lose that game.
I have it as a win. But just kicking around that idea, what if the Vikings had the early bye in 5, but they got 2 Thursday nights, so they get like 2 mini buys, right? Like I know they have to cram in the 2 games, but then they'd get 2 mini buys because they obviously would get the weekend off. I wouldn't hate that. I don't hate that idea.
Yeah, I don't love playing the week after. Like, if you're going to play the week after you get back from London, just feels like a recipe for a loss. So,
For a
okay.
letdown of some sort, I don't disagree with that. No.
Okay, week 13 is
All right.
next, I believe.
Week 13 is next, and we are now into the month of December, and it is cold outside. Any road game is going to be a difficult task, right? Not so fast. Not when you win a trip to beautiful Miami. Come on down, December 4th at the Dolphins. That's right. I'm giving the Vikings a little bit of a break. Outdoor game in Miami on December 4th.
Yeah, and this is some extra rest here. I like this. It's a win.
Yeah, you get a break. Nice.
It's a win for me. I'm not sold on Miami. It's a win for me. Yeah.
I like Miami, so I'm gonna say it's a loss.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's a loss.
If they're healthy defensively with what they should do, I think they fluster Tua, but that's just me. But that's
or
also
Teddy. Don't
not
sleep on. Don't sleep.
Yeah,
on
that's
Teddy.
a good point.
So I'm sitting at 7-5 right now, going into the last handful of games.
Yes, I'm also 7-5.
Okay, different paths to get to 7-5. Okay, home stretch
right.
here.
Okay, yeah.
So, December 11th is now week 14. And coming to town are the Arizona Cardinals.
This is a great time to catch the Cardinals because literally every year of Cliff Kingsbury's entire college and NFL career, his teams tank in the last month and a half.
Yes, sir.
This is a win for the Vikings.
Win 2. I think the
And-
Cardinals are going to come down hard to earth.
And if that's the case, Kingsbury, dead man walking as well.
Oh, absolutely.
So, like, you
100%.
could get the Cardinals and we hate the coach now. We've given up. Kyler's like, whatever. Great opportunity for him.
Yep. That division too. And I know that Russell Wilson left it, but you still have to deal with the Rams. The Niners probably aren't going anywhere. So, yeah. Okay.
Week 15, December 19th. That's a Monday night. Because who do the Vikings play every year on a Monday night in
The
their
Bears.
stadium?
The Bears.
The Bears.
The Bears. Monday night game. So cold weather game certainly impacts things.
That wind
Week
tunnel.
15 stays pretty consistent to what we saw from the 2021 schedule at Chicago Soldier Field.
It's a win. I think Chicago is going to be atrocious this season. They're trying to be atrocious.
They should sweep
They've stripped it
Chicago.
down. Yep.
I agree
They have no business. There's some years where you look at Chicago and you're like, oh, that's kind of a weird team, but they find a way to go 8-9 wins. This is not going to be. The Bears would love a high draft pick in 2023. So this should be a win for the Vikings.
You know what? Mackey talked me into it. I'm going to say it's a win too. And to be honest, they've won back-to-back years in Chicago. They won in 2020 on Monday night. They won last year in Chicago.
Yeah, go get it. Go win the game.
Go do it. Go do it. It's a win.
All right, week 16. Week
All right.
16, which is Christmas week. So you got to put it, I believe there's going to be a bunch of games on Christmas Eve. Then I think there's two, if I'm not mistaken, main games on Christmas Day. And there might be 2 on Monday night as well. The Vikings, though, are not going to have to be concerned about a primetime game because this is a perfect time to play the Commies. The Washington Commanders, December 24th, Saturday game, which will actually, for Vikings fans, bring you back to the game in which Adrian Peterson ripped his knee up because that was also a Christmas Eve game in Washington. But this time around, the Vikings get the Commanders, not the former Washington team.
So I basically have the Vikings on 4 straight wins here because I have them winning the Kirk Cousins revenge game against the Commies at home to go to 10-5.
Okay, good.
You know
This is
what?
cool.
They're 9-5 going into this game for me, and this is a classic trap game. This is a classic trap game.
Yeah, he's right.
Vikings drop this game. Vikings lose this game somehow, some way.
It's a short week because he just played on Monday
Yeah.
night. Yeah, no, Dex is on to something here.
The Grinch.
Yep.
I'm sorry to be the Grinch here. I'm feeling a loss. That is a
It's
a
also
loss.
the type of game where you're like, Kirk, this is your chance to really show Washington 5 years later
Yep.
who's boss. Because this is the first time he would be playing Washington, right? Or did they play
I
him?
loathe Carson Wentz.
This
So
is
they
the
played
first.
Washington on a Thursday night game
Yeah,
a
you're
couple
right.
years ago.
You're right. Okay.
But has he played there?
Wait, this is a road. Is this a road game or a home game?
It's a road game.
It's a road game. Oh my gosh! I'm
Washington.
sorry.
It's back-to-back road games.
A short week road
You
game,
not
trap
listen-
game.
I spent so much time on this.
I'm sorry. This is a loss. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is
I was ahead of it.
100%.
I was ahead of it
100% my
for
fault.
you.
It's a
Yeah,
loss.
Declan listened the whole time.
Yeah.
So there are 2 games left. We have now gotten through 8 road games. There are 2 home games left.
Brutal stretch too, because that's the 4th road game in 5. It's 4 road games in 5 weeks to end that stretch. Just a brutal stretch.
Brutal stretch. Can I get the marks going into the last 2 Vikings games from both of you?
9 and 6.
Same.
Okay.
Yep.
9 and
So
6.
like you're on the precipice.
Yeah.
Got to finish strong here, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you get 2 opportunities.
We'll
I
see.
think we know who the opponents are going to be. We just don't know the order here.
Exactly. So, week 17, New Year's Day, the Green Bay Packers come to town.
Yep. It's a win.
You start the New Year's off with a win, damn it.
Agreed,
So I'm
it's a
gonna
win.
Give me a win. Give me a win.
O'Connell's are celebrating then because Christmas got canceled.
Hangovers
KOC
galore.
KOC
Day after
canceled
New Year's
Christmas. He
Eve.
told his small kid, Christmas off. No
And
Christmas.
then the Week 18 game against Chicago at home.
It's
We've seen this.
obligatory, right?
We've seen this
it's
before.
obligatory. I tried to break the pattern last night. I can't.
No.
Like I went back and looked. It's obligatory that the Bears are here to end the season every bleeping year.
The only way it's a loss is if you start Kellen Mond because your playoff positioning is fortified, right? But I'd be curious if this plays out and you play the Packers at home in Week 17 on New Year's Day. If you really are 9 and 6 going into that game, where are the Packers at? Are they at 11 or 12 wins? Are they at 10?
I
Is
haven't
that
mocked
game
their
for the
wins yet.
division? No, I know. I'm just throwing out hypotheticals here.
They're probably that's a good question.
Because if you beat them, do you ice the division and then
Right.
But yeah, you should beat Chicago week 18. It's a win.
So do you end with 11 wins, Phil?
11 and 6. 11 and 6. Let's go.
Dex, you do.
I say it's 11 and 6 as well, but here's your caveat.
Yeah.
You're playing for the North on that day. I think the Packers are going to be struggling a little bit, and we're going to come down to the wire, and the Vikings have to get a win in Week 18 to solidify the North and then get a home playoff game in the wild card weekend.
And the Packers would be playing against the Dan Campbell coached Detroit Lions in that
Shave
situation.
some kneecaps off,
Which
baby.
could either be like they're on the verge of firing him, or they're running through a wall and they're trying to get their 7th win. And
Or what if the Lions are like pursuing their 12th win? They're the division champions.
I mean, could be. It's a crazy league. It's a crazy league, and
Thanks, Sid.
and it's a crazy league that is really fun to sweat through UnderdogFantasy.com, a new partner of ours here on Purple Daily. So for season long, it's the best, easiest way to get a sweat on games. And listen, I'm in a bunch of fantasy leagues. You guys have been kind of hot and cold on fantasy. This is so great for season long fantasy. No waivers, trades, or lineup setting. So you draft a roster.
Love that.
Underdog will take so you draft a roster of X amount of players, and Underdog will take the highest scoring players, and those are your starters for the week. You don't have to worry about, is this guy playing or not? No stressing over the day-to-day or week-to-week management. And then on the flip side, on the Pick'em games, which you see on the screen here on the YouTube channel, you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Pick over or under your favorite player stats to win big. I know we're keeping an eye on those hockey games tonight, but excited for football season. Promo code SCORE, SKOR, and Underdog Fantasy will double your first deposit up to $100. UnderdogFantasy.com and the Underdog Fantasy app.
Love it.
Get it.
Love it.
Maybe while you're playing on Underdog Fantasy, you can sip your favorite beverage too.
I hope so, because that, of course, is any beer from our friends at Surly Brewing. Personally, Saturday and Sunday, there were a few Furiouses consumed, and they were delicious, but you also can go down the drips and drops, the Havoc Machine route. I saw our friend Dave tweeted out yesterday that I believe that there is a new variety pack about to be unveiled, and when you get a variety pack from Surly, you got a good thing. Surly Brewing, check them out if you haven't already.
Okay, we're gonna get to Purple Daily reads the comments here because we've got a lot of responses off our Kirk Cousins episode yesterday. But okay, Judd, have you seen what Tom Brady's Fox Sports contract is set to be?
No.
Oh my God.
Take a guess as to what you think the terms and money are for Tom Brady. So Tom Brady it was announced this morning that he is going to be the lead NFL analyst for Fox Sports with Kevin Burkhardt calling games whenever his career is over. So in 10 years, whatever it is. But we have the number of years and the money attached to Tom Brady at Fox. What's he worth to you?
Well, clearly it's outrageous. I'm going to say it's Ooh, just total guess here, okay? I'm going to say it's a 10-year contract starting at 30 mil a year. Something ridiculous.
This is really close, really close, but it's higher. It's 10 years, $375 million.
Well, then he must have got, yeah. Wow.
What? Dude, what if he sucks? What if he's awful?
There's probably
God, I
no.
love
There's got to be an out in there somewhere.
From both sides.
I love Tom.
I bet both sides have
10 years. So this dude has racked up probably I don't know how much money playing. He probably racked up $400 million playing football, right? He's been making an average of, let's say, $20 million a year for 22 seasons, let's call it. Let's see, carry the form. Okay. So yeah, he's made about $400 million playing football. However much money off the field in endorsements. I think this solidifies him as a billion-dollar earnings athlete, right? Like, forget about how much his net worth has appreciated in investments and businesses and stuff, but just his on-field playing money plus this is 3/4 of it. Well, it's more than that. It's almost $800 million.
That's awesome. Absolutely awesome.
Amazing. So Tony Romo, it was shocking when Romo had $20 million a year coming his way. Tom Brady's going to have almost twice as much. Must be worth it, man. Must be worth it. Anyhow, alrighty. Tom Brady, everybody.
That is nuts.
Okay, Purple Daily reads the comments here. We're going to sprinkle these into more episodes because you guys send us so much great and sometimes mean, quite frankly, feedback.
That's okay.
But we're okay. We'll read any of it on the show. You can hit us up via the Score North app. You can hit us up in the YouTube comment section, Twitter. We're always checking Instagram, TikTok. So let's start with this one. Ken Olson via the Score North app says, did you see the absolute disrespect the NFL Live crew showed the Vikings today on ESPN?
Oh,
Not a single word about the Vikings while talking about the 4 Monday night teams. I sure hope Kevin O'Connell caught it and absolutely smokes Philadelphia. I did not see that segment, but I would say the Vikings haven't been above 500 in 2 full seasons. I don't think they deserve respect. Like, they have to go earn respect. So I'm not mad that no one's talking about the Vikings. Why would they? Should go show it. No one talks about Kirk Cousins and the Vikings. They haven't done anything.
That's exactly what it is.
They haven't done anything. They won. They won one playoff game in 2019. Who cares? Like, I'm saying from the national perspective, why would you talk about the Vikings? They have to go earn it.
Yeah, it's not surprising at all. And also, like, the ESPN NFL Live narrative loves the Kirk Cousins prime time and all that stuff. So, like, I'm not surprised by it at all either.
But they also like quarterbacks who are hot tickets, big names, and Kirk's not. Like
Yeah.
the way we talk about Kirk on this show is how he's perceived nationally. Like, we're not off base here. Like, if you think Kirk Cousins is top 3 quarterback, nobody agrees outside here. So, like,
it's how he's perceived in the league and by a lot of people in the building too, by the way.
Which is, by the way, he's a good quarterback, but he's not great, and he's just sort of meh. So, like, he's not a top 5 guy and an exciting guy and a personality that the networks are going to talk about. It's just that simple.
Yeah. Okay, now we get into some of the Kirk Cousins comments and feedback here. We did an episode yesterday.
I saw some of this. Whether
Kirk Cousins has winning DNA or the it factor, and George Payton, who left Minnesota to go to Denver to run the Broncos. You know, it's really comparable to when I was in Minnesota. Oh, really? Yeah. When we brought Brett Favre in, not when we brought Kirk Cousins in. Well, Laser Chief on YouTube says, this show is such a joke. You're comparing Kirk Cousins to Brett Favre and Tom Brady. Laugh my ass off. Another Kirk Cousins smear episode.
Yep.
Wayne Skolham via the Score North app says, damn it, Mackey, same old tired rhetoric. The hell with Kyle Rudolph's omission of Kirk Cousins 2 years ago. To hell with your droning on and on about statistics and the 15% of the salary cap stuff. Guess what, Philly boy? Cousins is our starter through 2023.
I love that note.
Philly boy.
Exactly.
Philly boy.
Hey, Mackey.
Philly boy. Just like Pony Boy. Outsiders.
Pony boy? Oh.
The Outsiders. Yeah. Okay, cool. Keep going. Keep going. I'm sure there's more.
Well, I mean, like, how dare we not bow down at the altar of mediocre football? That's one thing. Listen, we reject 500 football on this show. If you are leaning into 500 football, then maybe we're going to clash a little bit. But how dare we hold the milquetoast 500 career quarterback who has the third highest cap hit in the NFL still, by the way, to a high standard? How dare we want more for the Vikings than 8 or 9 wins every single year?
Yeah, you're a jerk. Philly boy.
All right, Will Marsh on Twitter. If you're still making it a point to bag on Kirk Cousins and you're a Vikings fan, then I am pulling your fandom card.
Oh. Okay.
Does he show up at your house? Does he break in? Or does he hack into your... Is it like a virtual card or is it an actual physical
Where's my
card?
card? I'm trying
that
to
you have
find
in
my
your wallet?
card here. I'm trying to find my card. I don't know if I can or not.
Side tangent, but related. Like, I ripped the Twins left and right the last few years, and I still ponied up to get season tickets this year. Like, if the team is worth watching and cheering for, we can do that. We're allowed to rip them or cheer on them. I didn't know it was
your fan
validation that we have fan cards that get ripped
I
or
took your fan
stripped
card.
or whatever. Oh, you took it. Okay.
I stole it from your wallet. It's gone now.
Okay.
So don't even try.
Will adds, Kirk is going to be the starter for at least the next 2 years. Get on board and support everyone on the team or switch teams. It's really not hard.
Who does that? Just I love this blind. I love the call for blind support. Just support them.
Just support them.
But like Phil just said, they haven't been over 500 in 2 years. Like, why would you just support them?
Well, but like you can. This is what's so weird, and I don't know if it's we talk about this enough on the show, but I don't know if it's the Sid Hartman effect for decades or if it's the flagship effect or what. But the idea that the only way that you can be a good fan is if you're fully blindly supportive of everything.
You sign off on everything.
In what other area of your life? Okay, listen, you have kids. You're not a true supporter of your kids, and you're not a true parent if you correct your kids or if you get mad at your kids sometimes. You need to blindly support everything in your life, or you are not a true fan of, like, it's ridiculous. And I don't know where this idea came from, that if you question anything, how dare you?
Right. Well, it's like the people now who are like, Kwesi's draft was fantastic. He's doing things that no one else can. No, we have to wait and see. But like for you to have an opinion or for you to be told, and by the way, again, to point the finger at us, some of this comes from people in our business to basically say, you aren't being loyal. You should, to be told that by people in our side of the business is ridiculous and a complete joke.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fascinating to me. And just like I will say this too, you can, if you want to blindly support your favorite team too, that's fine. Just be whatever kind of fan you want. Just these people
but
that are
don't
pulling fan cards because you're sick of 500 football
but
or
don't
below 500
chastise
football.
other fans, and that includes again people in our business. You have no right to You have no right to tell people what they should or shouldn't be doing, and it's just ridiculous. Like, if you want to blindly support the team, then just do it, but don't get in people's grills about, well, you're not being a good fan. That's my problem with it.
Super weird. Anyhow, John Jackson via the Score North app says, a question for you guys to ponder. No pun intended. Well, I hadn't thought of drafting a wide receiver in the first round until you guys started talking about it a few weeks before the draft. After that, I was all in on a wide receiver. I was hoping for a big-time receiver at 12. Then they went defensive picks with 3 out of the first 4. I've been thinking, and I'd like your guys' thoughts, the Vikings front office is all about saying in 2022 we are all in. But what if behind the scenes 2023 is the real goal for a run? You go secondary this year, so the young guys get some experience. Then next year, you go quarterback and wide receiver with the first 2 picks. A plug-and-play dynamic receiver and our secondary has a year of experience for a run. What do you think? Love the show. You guys are great, and you keep it real. What do you think, John Jackson?
I love that comment. I think he might be right. I can't tell from what they're doing. It feels to me like he might be on point there. It feels to me like they're like, okay, we'll run things back to a certain degree, but we all know from our football standpoint that this is probably not going to work that well, and so we're also planning. I guess here's how I feel. I wish I felt that there was more cohesiveness in the thought process from top to bottom. So I guess that's what I want and what I'm not seeing. But yes, the draft definitely spoke to, okay, yeah, we've done some things all in. Because you literally, like, the one thing about the Packers and Lions trade that sort of flies in the face of being in is you just potentially improve two teams right now. But if you told me flat out, you know what, we don't care, like we are building something here, I'd be like, okay, cool. So it feels, I think where I struggle with this is a definite feeling that ownership doesn't see it the same way as the executive staff does. And I guess if that's how the executive staff sees things, I'm more on board with that.
Yeah, I still stand by. I think ownership did not go into the GM and coach search with a clear, open mind. They went in thinking, we want to do it a certain way, and we're going to try and find some guys that will do it the way that we want to do it. And given those parameters, I actually think the Vikings are very well set up for 2023 and 2024. 2023 is really interesting because that's probably the year that you draft a quarterback in the first round, going into the last year of Kirk Cousins' contract. And it gives you sort of that Chiefs, Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, that's the best possible version of it.
Yes.
But it gives you some options if you need to make a tough decision and say, yeah, the young guy's better. You could probably force a trade. Say, Kirk, listen, now we can trade you to San Francisco because Trey Lance is a bust, and you can go be with Kyle. There's options that he would probably green light for a trade. But the other, so quarterback is the biggest question for 2023. But think about some of the other position groups. Wide receiver, Justin Jefferson's still going to be on a rookie scale contract going into 2023. KJ Osborne's going to be on a rookie scale contract going into 2023. You're going to have an offensive line of guys either in their prime or emerging into their prime. It's a young offensive line. You don't know what the center position is going to look like in 2023 because you don't have one under contract, but Darisaw rookie scale contract, Brian O'Neill solidified. You got a bunch of good young options at those guard positions, and then the young secondary, the guys that you drafted plus Cam Dantzler. So I like the way age-wise and contract-wise they set up beyond 2022, and maybe this is exactly what Kwesi has meant when he said a competitive rebuild, that we're going to try and do as much as we can. Now, if you were all in on being competitive, you probably would have traded a pick for an established player like the Rams did and have done almost every year.
Right.
But it's not like this roster. There's been a couple times in the last 15 years where you look at the roster and you're like, oh boy, like it's all headed over a cliff. Mm-hmm. This one isn't. They've got good young players locked up under team control, and you should be in a good spot for 2023 and 24.
I think it's incredibly fair to say that we definitely need to see more about the philosophy, because I guess what I'm afraid of is the push and pull of, well, we don't want to be bad, so let's just be, because that's been the continual thing, right? Let's just be good enough. And you think that, well, there's this thing of, once we get in the tournament, you don't know. But yes, if this team, I really need to see the 23 draft, because here's what I want to know. What's your plan and how much can you execute that plan at quarterback? That becomes so important to me, because I mean, that's a place where Spielman, unfortunately, for a variety of reasons, fell flat. O'Connell, I think, knows exactly what he wants, and so that's going to be good. But when Jefferson's contract comes due, Kirk can't be here because he's going to be paid entirely too much. So I'm very open-minded to watching it. I just want the feeling that everybody in that building has the same mission, and that's the mission of this very show, Super Bowl.
Yeah, got another really interesting question here in a second, but we have a new partner here that's looking for help driving. So Polka Dot Dairy is hiring drivers if anyone out there has interest in jumping on board, Judley.
That's exactly right. Starting salary, $60,000, 401k match. Best part, no weekends. And so a current CDL license is required. Polka Dot Dairy is a Minnesota-based and family-owned company. Great workplace environment. Go to polkadotdairy.com. Click on jobs to apply. polkadotdairy.com. And again, $60,000, 401k match. And you don't work on weekends. polkadotdairy.com.
Also, while Judd is speaking on behalf of our partners here, look how skinny he looks, man. Look at he's got the t-shirt, he's got the full shave here. Mm-hmm. He's down a few chins since last September. It's great.
You're not kidding. And look, like my face now, I think it's about half the size of what my face was last year at this time. And that's thanks to our friends, my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers. And now I want you to join a plan that's going to help you achieve your weight loss goals. I think we all get to a weight and we're like, I'll never lose the weight. It's too much. But guess what? I thought the same thing. That's not true. And now with the new Simple Start plan, it's only $59 to join. $59. Go to livea.com, 855 go livea, livia.com. And here's the best part too. The weight comes off, that's great, but Livia will help you maintain the weight being off. And that's the most important thing, because we all lose weight and think, oh great, and then what happens? We gain the weight back plus some. That's no good. Livia.com, Livea, for you to change your life. And best part, all those clothes like these, they fit again.
Skinny jeans, Judd. Skinny jeans.
Okay,
Judd.
I'm not going that far. Sports Dad ain't going that far. No skinny jeans.
This question from Jake Geib via the Score North app. Would you guys rather have Kwesi, KOC, and Kirk? So the goal is a Super Bowl as soon as possible, he says in this email.
All right.
Would you rather have the trio of Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, and Kirk Cousins, or George Payton, Nathaniel Hackett, and Russell Wilson?
The latter. 1,000 times the latter. It's not even a bat of an eye, not even a question. The latter, the latter, the latter.
Just to be clear, George Payton, Nathaniel Hackett, Russell Wilson.
Yes.
So, okay.
And George Payton, I think, stuck here thinking someday the GM job will be mine. And he finally said, okay, it won't be. And then Rick gets fired.
Would they have elevated him, do you think? Would they have fired Rick and elevated George?
I think they would have elevated him. I think he's a very smart guy. He's not Rick. Like he and Rick, I think, worked well together because they were ultimately very different people.
Yeah.
And so, yes, I think George Payton was liked and would have gotten that job. And Declan Goff is 1,000% right. I mean, I'm not going to debate that.
Well, and if you kind of go through it here, okay, George Payton or Kwesi Adofo-Mensah, we don't really know. We don't know. George Payton has more experience,
right?
More of a football background, right? But those two guys, and Payton's in year 2 as the GM of Denver, so we don't know. I guess we know that he had the cojones to make the Russell Wilson trade, so credit to him for that. But I think it's hard to say that George Payton is definitively a better GM than Kwesi. We don't know, so I'm going to call that a wash. I really like Nathaniel Hackett in the lead-up process, in the when all those names are being thrown out there. Love the guy's energy. I love the way that former and current players speak about him. So I think I like Hackett a little better than KOC, but again, we don't really know, so it's kind of a wash.
But
so then it's Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins, and I think Russell Wilson's just a completely different player and leader and everything. So yeah, I would say Peyton, Hackett, and Wilson.
Yep, I agree with that.
Let's see here. Slab City 10 via the YouTube comment section. Poor Phil and Judd gasping for airtime.
What was that in reference to? That was hilarious.
Microphone. Give me a microphone.
Where's Stella?
Gasping for airtime.
Stella. Speak well of me.
Do you feel like you're gasping for airtime? That you're desperately
I want to know what that was
clinging to a microphone?
What caused that message to be sent or that tweet to be sent?
I think because we're not doing a 4-hour daily radio show anymore the last couple of years. So maybe we're just trying to cling to whatever patch of radio is left. I don't know what that means.
Criticism's criticism, man. I love it.
Gasping for airtime. I love that. Slab City 10, you need to comment more often, dude. Comment every single day. Just rip us every day, and we will read those comments on the show, please. If you're looking for a supporter, okay, and not someone that's just going to rip you all the time, Federated's been around for over 100 years, supporting businesses in and around the Twin Cities and even outside the state. They specialize in a core group of industries that they know like the back of their hand. They're not just trying to sell a bajillion policies just for the sake of it. They know what they know, and they specialize in what they specialize in. And you can find a full list of industries at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.
You like that? You like that?
All right, write that down, predictions and an accountability session tomorrow on the show. This is Daily Vikings Entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. Purple Daily.